Thursday from the Redneck Garage. Well, we're back on pulling the motor out of the Jeep TJ, and I'm getting really close. I've said that like a million times. Anyway, what I'm going to accomplish next is take off the starter and start getting underneath it and pulling off the cover bolts. It's a manual transmission, it's not automatic, so that makes it a little easier to pull out. And I believe I'm going to try to take off the exhaust manifold because I'm tired of looking at it and wondering if I can get around it or not. So that's going to be the next steps on getting this motor out, and hopefully we'll be yanking this baby out really quick. Alright, got the starter off. It's got those weird Torx bolts on the end, which I hate, but anyway, it looks so sketchy I went ahead and ordered a new one off of eBay for dirt cheap. So I've already got that in to reinstall. Okay, we're about ready to start taking the bolts out, but one thing that we want to do is get a jack underneath here, underneath the transmission, just to support that. As we take these bolts out, we don't want the transmission to fall. So I got a brand new jack. From looking at the underneath of this, I can tell that at some point the transmission's been out, because you can see all kinds of marks on these bolts where they were removed at some point. I don't know why, whether it was engine related or transmission related or what, but usually when you can see marks like this on the bolts, it may have been a clutch at some point that they put a clutch in it, but I can tell that it's been out. Well, there's still a lot of grease and crap on the engine block, and I'm going to be disassembling it as soon as I pull it out. So I went ahead and got me some Easy Off oven cleaner. Wow, that's nasty. I'm going to spray it on here and let that grease get eaten off, and then I'm going to pressure wash it real quick before I yank it out, and that'll just make it a little bit easier. Alright, so it's a wet and rainy Saturday, but I'm on a mission to get this thing taken out today. You can tell that the motor is super clean compared to the way it was yesterday. Got most of the oil and grease off of it. You wouldn't want to leave your motor sitting out because you can see that it would pit the cylinders and stuff. But we're about to pull it out, so that's not going to be an issue. And get this thing on a motor stand. So I'm going to start working on that. If it starts coming down a lot harder, then I'm going to put up my tent. But I think I can get underneath there and get those bolts out without doing that. Got a new jack at Harbor Freight for like 79 bucks. It was on sale, had a coupon. It's a 3-ton low profile. I'm going to go ahead and open that up and get it underneath the transmission. Randy's here! No. So Randy came over to say hi, and he brought me lunch, but he's got to go to a movie with his wife with some homosexual actor. What was his name? Oh yeah, it's Liam Neeson! You shouldn't have a gun. You shouldn't have any rights. He's a foreigner. Anyway, I'm getting my jack put together, and then he's going to go to a movie, and we're going to pull this thing out maybe. I got to get this camera in. Now it's raining. Well, it's starting to rain pretty good, so I went ahead and put up my easy shade, and I put a little blanket down on the ground so I don't get soaked up trying to crawl under this thing, but I'm on a mission! So at this point, all I had was the 6 bolts on the bell housing to take off. There's 2 up on the top, 2 in the middle, and then 2 on the bottom. I'd already taken the bottom ones off, so I was working on getting the top ones off. And you can kind of finagle your lift to give you a little bit more room from that firewall to get to the bottom of it, and then end up crawling up underneath to get the 2 middle ones. Made it a little bit easier. But for the most part, those came out pretty easy. So I imagine they'd been out at some point before. Like I mentioned in the earlier part of the video, they were not locked up, and it may have been more recent that they put a clutch or something in this thing. Awesome, the engine is out, so I'm doing my little engine happy dance. It is a lot cleaner than it was yesterday, and I'm glad I went ahead and pressure washed it because that makes it a lot less greasy. Next step is to put it on an engine stand and start disassembling just the remaining components on it. It's going to be interesting to pull the oil pan off and see how many piece parts are down in there, where the rest of that piston is. As far as videos go, I'm going to try to do one about every 2 days or 3 days, a few days in between. Rather than just putting out 2 or 3 at a time, just to give y'all a chance to watch them. Thanks, Jerry, for that suggestion. And next step is putting this thing on an engine stand. I am very happy that we got the engine out to get it down to Mark at Mark's Machine Shop. Anyway, that's going to be the next steps that I'm going to be doing. I'm David from Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.